Hey there, Internet family. Welcome. This is Lisa with our Georgia Suburban Homestead. And I think that's a yellow jacket. We call them yellow bastards. Okay.
Yep.
I am transiting from hot pepper chick to spicy garlic chick. And we pulled all the peppers out of the seed pepper raised bed here, and we are about to plant garlic. Before we do that, we're going to need to amend the soil with blood meal, and then once we've got the garlic planted, we'll lightly broadcast the synthetic nitrogen fertilizer and water it in. Garlic needs to be planted anywhere from 1.5 inches to 2 inches down with the pointy side up. That's the pointy side. It's going up. The bottom is where the root comes out. That goes down. So it'll go about 2 inches down. I like to use my finger. Other people are more skittish than I am. But from the tip of my finger to the middle knuckle, it's about 2 inches. So I know I just need to do this. One thing I haven't told you before, I don't think, is that I am a certified square foot gardening instructor. You can get certification online by taking a course and passing all the tests. And basically what square foot gardening is high intensity gardening. You can plant a lot of things in a little bit of space, but I like to use it for things like onions and garlic. Square foot gardening tells us we can plant 9 cloves of garlic in 1 square foot. So these beds are a little bit wider than a foot. That's a 1.5 feet. So what's the math on that, Charlie? How many per foot? If it's 1.5 feet by, we just do 1.5 feet, 1.5 feet.
Well, giving them some room away from the wall.
15? 15 per?
I'd do 12. If you put them up against the wall, they only got half as much root space.
This is true. So we'll do 12 per 1.5 feet. Let's just do we'll do a foot, and just give things a little bit better spacing between the margins. So we've got organic blood meal, and it doesn't take much of this. Give a handful, and I'm just going to sprinkle it like that. Hand it to Charlie and let him be distributing that all around, up and down, top layer and the bottom layer. While I try to start plunking these in. Again, pointy end up, thick end down.
Don't use too much blood meal.
2 inches.
You might attract vampires.
He's worried about attracting vampires to a garlic bed. I don't think so.
Blood meal and garlic bed. That seems like a trap. It's a trap.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 holes. 2 inches deep. That first variety is Russian Inferno. And I order my garlic from Keen Garlic in July, and it gets to us about mid to late September. Because here in North Georgia we put garlic in October/November. So again, those posts are 1 foot in and a 2 foot wide expanse. So 18 garlic cloves per 1 foot wide row. 1 by 2 is going to be 9 and 9 is 18, right? Yep. So you're doing 18 per thing. Okay, Charlie's about to broadcast high nitrogen fertilizer, 3200. It is not an organic nitrogen, but we have found with the amount that we use, we can't produce our own nitrogen fast enough. So, he's just going to broadcast it. He puts it in a flower pot, then he shakes it so it comes out the bottom. You see how that's coming out? Kind of like a salt shaker. Did you bring enough out, babe? Mm-hmm. So we planted 3 kinds of garlic in this bed. 2 are hard neck separated by 1 soft neck, which is going to be like an artichoke type. And when I go back inside, I'll turn the camera on and talk to you about the different types of garlic. But our next step, of course, is watering in, and I'm going to do that now. And let Charlie rest a moment.
I get 2
pots.
I get 2 pots. Put them in, make sure the hose don't line up. And then you can pour it in. And then when you go to shake it out, you line them up a little bit, trade it a little bit so you can see through there now. Then when you shake, it'll pull through those hoses and come out slowly.
Cool. So you see, you don't need any fancy utensils. You can just use what you have on hand. So I promised you I'd bring you back inside with me and we would talk a little bit about garlic. Garlic is an allium, which there are like 700 species of allium, and garlic is just one of them, as are leeks and onions and chives are all alliums. So it is part of the onion family. Okay. There are essentially two different kinds of garlic, soft neck and hard neck. Your hard neck garlic has a rigid center core where the cloves will gather around the core. Those are kind of my favorite because I discovered scapes a few years ago, which are the bloom shoots that when it starts to go to seed, they come up and they start forming that little white teardrop at the end, and I like to cut them and saute them in olive oil or butter with a little bit of salt and pepper. It's a great side dish, whether you're having eggs or some kind of meat or some sort of dal, put it on rice. It's very special. Soft neck garlic is also, its Latin name is Allium sativum. And the hard neck is Allium ophioscorodon. And those of you who've been with me a while and following my channel know that I can't pronounce the Latin name. So those of you that can are just snickering right now. Let's go ahead and have a laugh on me. Purple striped garlic has a milder odor and taste, but they don't store as well as the white garlic. But they do, the purple garlic retains its flavor in cooking, whereas some of the white garlic varieties do and some don't. Soft neck garlic can be in the artichoke form, which is like an artichoke with the different layers. So if you've got garlic that's got inner cloves, middle cloves, outer cloves, that is an artichoke type garlic. But soft necks also come in a silver skin. These are the two types of garlic you most usually find at the supermarket. So you've probably had both of those already. It's a little bit harder to find the hard neck garlic in the supermarket, but some of the farmers markets will have it. The hard neck garlic, the cloves are easier to peel, but that reduces its shelf life to about 6 months, whereas the soft neck garlic is what you braid and it can store without going bad longer. So what did we plant today, and what are the sources? I think I planted, let's see, 7 types of garlic, and I tried a new supplier this year, as well as one that I've used for years. My go-to company is Keene Garlic, Keene Garlic. And you have to order from Keene in early July or late June. They'll open up their catalog about that time, and they will sell out fast. So it's one of those crops that you have to plan ahead for your fall planting. And you have to plan about the time you're harvesting last year's, in June. So this year I was really excited because I was able to get a few varieties of garlic I try every year to get, because I wanted to try them, such as Spanish Rojo and Persian Star. So the 3 varieties I was able to find with Keene this year are the Persian Star hardneck, the Russian Inferno hardneck, and Chilean Red softneck, which is an artichoke type garlic. It's a big artichoke with white and purple coloring, mild flavor, good for baking and roasting. The Russian Inferno, as its name implies, is supposed to be very, very spicy. I like strong garlic. If you look online, and you'll find that it's described as robust and hot when raw. It's really good for dehydrating and making garlic powder, but it mellows out with roasting and has a sweet aftertaste. I'm really excited about the Russian Inferno. Again, it's a hardneck, which means its scapes ought to be really strong too, strong in flavor. The Persian Star, and please excuse me, my lungs aren't the best though. Persian Star has a purple stripe, and I do not know why they call it a Persian Star, because it's originally from Uzbekistan, and that's a totally different culture and region from Persia. But it has a full flavor with rich, nutty, sweet tones. This is a sautéing garlic, a roasting garlic, and they compare it to a chestnut red, which I also planted. But this is a bit milder than the chestnut red. So those are the 3 varieties I ordered from Keene. There are 4 varieties I ordered from someone that I believe they're here in Georgia, up in a little bit further north than I am. They're called Farmstead, one word, Farmstead. I'll show you their tag. This is what the tag looks like. That was in the bag that came with the garlic. And of course it came as a whole clove, and I sat here in front of watching my friends' YouTube channels one night, peeling them. So what I had was early Italian purple, which is a soft neck. And those went in today. And that comes from southern Italy. It's a mild garlic. It is a mild garlic, but it has many small cloves. And this is one that there are like 70 cloves to a pound. And Charlie really had fun planting that. It's a vigorous garlic, and it does better in the heat than the other garlics. It's grown mostly in California, which is Gilroy, California, which is the garlic capital of the world. But this particular garlic was good for braiding, so I look forward to braiding my first garlic next year. It's recommended to use it for roasting vegetables or roasting in soups and stews. The chestnut red is probably one of the most popular garlics in the southern United States. It is originally from the Republic of Georgia, not Georgia, United States, but Republic of Georgia over in Eastern Europe. It has a wonderful roasted flavor. It has a slightly purple striped skin, and it's a robust flavor without being really hot. So, and it is a hardneck garlic. It only stores 6 months. The Spanish Rojo, I've been trying to get my hands on Spanish Rojo for at least 5 years. Finally found it at Farmstead this year. It's like, everyone says it's a must-grow hardneck garlic. It was brought to the United States in the early 1900s. Some people call it Greek garlic, and if you've had Greek cooking, and you'll know the intensity of the garlic that they use. The garlic cloves, again, are easy to peel. This is a chef's favorite at the upscale restaurants. So I'm very happy to have planted the Spanish Rojo, and I'm going to have to keep a certain number of corms next year for replanting. Then we bought a Transylvanian softneck. So this comes from Transylvania in Romania, and it's supposed to have a very smooth, buttery texture and flavor with spicy overtones. And it comes from the mountains of Transylvania, actually, in Romania. So I look forward to that. So that's what we planted today, using the square foot garden method of 9 cloves per square foot. And if you paid attention to how we laid that out, you measure out a foot by foot square, and you plant 9 cloves equally spaced per foot. It's a high intensity growing method, and if you water and fertilize accurately, or you should have a good crop. Now, garlic is best grown with healthy amounts of nitrogen, and we used bone meal and nitrogen fertilizer. So I hope this was useful to you, and here's my sign off.